Last night, the spotlight was on President Bill Clinton for his speech at the Democratic National Convention.
And tonight, it's President Barack Obama's turn. He'll accept the Democratic Party's nomination for a second term when he takes the stage. The president's chief campaign strategist says in his speech he will lay out his vision for the country for the next 4 years.
I think folks, after watching the speech tonight, will have a very clear sense of where he thinks the country needs to go economically, the path we need to take.
Yesterday, the president's event was moved indoors, which will hold just a fraction of the tens of thousands of North Carolina supporters who have tickets to hear his speech. This afternoon, the president held a conference call with those frustrated ticket holders, and campaign officials say the president will make time to see them before the election.
Well, also in the spotlight throughout the week are the thousands of protesters who have marched along the streets of uptown Charlotte. News
13's Russ Bowen is streaming live from Charlotte. Russ, there were more protests today?
Yeah, the city has a designated route that for the most part, with the exception of Occupy, most people have really stuck to.
Oh, hey, health reform has got to stay.
Now, there have been dozens of groups in various sizes, none as large, of course, as the protest last Sunday, which was about 700 people. But police a very strong presence along the route, and especially at any side streets to keep protesters from veering off course. They also follow them along the route there. This morning, a group called Patients Over Politics March. It's a group of more than 50 doctors who are on a 12-day bus tour that also went to the Republican convention.
Instead of using political rhetoric, we should be supporting the Affordable Care Act, because we've seen in our clinics and our hospitals how this has helped our patients. We're not asking for people's votes. We don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. All we want people to recognize is that the Affordable Care Act has saved lives, and it will continue to save lives.
And another group that was right behind them, maybe 3 minutes or so, was a group asking for the legalization of marijuana. Now, one person that everyone really seemed to want to meet today was a woman who marched with her mother during the women's suffrage movement, trying to get women the right to vote. An amazing woman, 101-year-old Amelia Boynton.
I just feel that this is why I'm living. See, most people are dead at my age. But God has extended my life in order that I could go tell it on the mountains, over the hills, and everywhere.
Now, Miss Boynton was a key figure in what is now known as Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. She was left for dead, almost beaten to death on the bridge that day. Almost 50 years later, she is still fighting. We've got so much more from you coming up from uptown Charlotte at the DNC. We're live. Russ Bowen, News 13.